Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Autohrycfix. So this is part 2 of fixing that oil leak on the Honda Civic. Previous episode, we found out where the leak was, that it was coming from the right side from the transmission seal. And also we also found out that it was coming from the drive shaft that I installed when we were restoring the car, that it was all rusted up a little bit too far, and yeah, you guys know what happened there. So I'm waiting for the other drive shaft to arrive, and so while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys how to replace the transmission seal on the passenger side. I'll leave the part number in the description down below. So let's go ahead and let's start. Alright, so a little recap. So previous episode, what we did was I removed the drive shaft from its place by removing the nut, removing the lower ball joint bolt, knocking it out of its place of the lower table, removing the bolt from the fork from the suspension, and just moving it over to the side and pulling out the drive shaft. So what we're going to do now is we'll clean up on the transmission side, the oil that was leaking out. I'll pop out the old seal. We'll put some silicone on the new seal and pop it in. And I'll go ahead and I'll show you guys how to do that. Before we get started, before we remove the seal, I'm just going to show you a few tools that you're going to need to pop the seal out, and we're going to need to reinstall it. So we have our seal. I bought it from Honda directly. So we have our seal. Be careful to make sure there's no dirt all around and that everything here, there's no cuts, everything is good. So that when you're installing it, there's no leaks. First things first, after removing that seal, we're gonna clean it up, make sure that everything is dry with some brake cleaner. You're gonna wanna put some ultra gray silicone all around it. Not too much, just a little thin layer, and you're gonna pop it in. Now to pop it in, there's two ways. You can purchase the proper tool that goes in and then tap it in with a hammer. What I went ahead and done is I found a circular plastic tool that fits exactly over the seal, as you can see, and it hits the edges. That's the hardest part of the seal, so when you're tapping it in evenly so that you know that it is flush with the transmission when you have it installed. Alright. Another tool that you'll probably need a little fork tool like so you can put into the hole. I'll show you how, and pop it out without scratching the aluminum on the casing of the transmission. So a tool like this is perfect. Alright, so we're gonna just take our fork here and just pop it out. There you go. We popped it out. Be careful because there'll be oil that's coming out. We'll just let it leak out. Alright, so some days you have good days, some days you have bad days, and not all jobs go well. This one is proving that right. I removed the seal from the transmission. This is the seal that I removed, and this is the seal that I got. So I checked it out, and it's just an error that was inside the packaging, and it's my fault as well. I should have checked. I didn't see properly inside. All I saw was the outer ring here, and I didn't notice that this whole part here was also plastic. So I went ahead and I ordered the part again. I'll receive it tomorrow, and the great thing about that is the drive shaft should be here tomorrow as well. So we'll finish up the car tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Alright guys, so it's been a day. Finally got the right parts. I got my good seal, the right size. As we can see, they're identical now, so we'll be able to install it onto the car. And I also got my CV axle joint. I ordered it on Amazon, which is pretty cool. What I'll do is I'll leave the real part number down in the description down below, and I'll leave you guys a link to the CV axle also down there, so you guys can check it out. Really good price. So what we're going to do now is we're going to clean up the excess oil on the transmission, put a little bit of grease silicone seal around the seal, tap it in, and then we'll install our CV joint. Little tip, when installing your new joint, you take the old one, you put it on top so that you can tap with a small little hammer, just tap it in all around so that it gets flush with the transmission and that you don't damage this seal. So, but I'll show you guys as best as I can with the camera while I'm doing it. Alright, so I removed the seal. As you can see a bearing right there. It's all dirty. So we're going to take some brake cleaner and we're just going to clean it up. Make sure that there's no gunk all around. And we're going to try and get as much oil as we can. There you go. Here I'll show you how much silicone gray that you would want to put onto the seal. So you just grab it here, like so, and just put a little thin layer all around. Alright. Don't need much. Nice even amount on the seal. So once the area surface is clean, you're just gonna want to put the seal as flush as you can. Alright. We'll take the old seal, put it on top, like so. Take a little hammer and just tap it. Into place. And there you have it. The seal is in place and it's flush. There you have it. The new seal is installed. And as you can see, it's flush with the transmission and it's all even all around. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take the brand new dry axle CV axle joint, slide it in, tap it in, and reinstall everything else. Alright, so we got our new axle joint right here. We're going to slide it in carefully, make sure that we don't touch the seal because the ends here are quite sharp. Slide it in, tap it a few times, you'll hear the sound will change. We'll know that it's in, and then we can continue installing the fork into the table and put the spindle back into the splice here. The new drive shaft came with a new hub bolt, which is really cool. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll do that. Alright, so now that that is all tightened up, we're just going to take our punch and we're going to give it a nice punch on the side here. Like so. Make sure our back plate is not touching our rear discs. And that everything seems to be okay. And I'll put the tire on and we'll start it up. We'll go for a road test to make sure nothing is leaking underneath. Alright. Alright, so put the car back down on the ground. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to check the dipstick to check the oil level to make sure that everything is okay. And if it is, we're just going to go for a ride and we'll come back and hopefully everything's good. Alright, so we're back. I checked everything out and everything is good. I know not everything went as planned, but it's okay. That's just sometimes happens when we're working on our own cars. But we also got to teach you a few things, how to change the transmission seal. We ended up replacing the axle altogether, which is cool. You know, things happen sometimes. But with that said, I just want to say thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.